Hey everyone, it's your boy Ethan. Welcome back to another poker vlog, and today we're gonna play one of the most swingy sessions I've ever had in a tournament. Happy almost New Year's to everyone who's watching this video, and thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a happy holidays. Hopefully you enjoyed this poker tournament. It's just absolutely bananas with a ridiculous ending, so stay tuned. Hopefully you enjoy, and smash that like button. It's always much appreciated, and new subscribers are always welcome. Those two buttons are very much free for all the content, and it's always much appreciated. Let's get the cards in the air and let's go to the win. The tournament journey starts here at level 8. Blinds are 500, 1K, 1K, and with 30,000 in stack. One of the first hands with Jack 9 offsuit on the button, I raise it up to 2,200 and get the big blind to defend. Going to a flop of Queen Jack 7 rainbow. He checks to me, and with middle pair holdings, I think I want to check back some of the time, so I decided to do that here and check. Turn comes in 8, and he checks for a second time. Now, expecting my hand to be good, there's a ton of draws out there. I also improved to a gut shot straight draw, and trying to get some value. I'm confident I'm ahead here with middle pair. I bet out 4,500. And for 4,500, he thinks about it for a while, then ends up making the call. So a little bit of a timing tell that he probably doesn't have anything too strong. When the river comes a 3, he checks it again for a third time, and there's definitely merit to go for value here and bet again against some weaker opponents who I don't think will check raise bluff too often. Anyways, I decided to just check this one back, probably missed out on some thin value. He shows King 8 offsuit for a pair. Messed up, didn't go for that value, but still win and chip up. Picking up pocket 9s now in +1, I raise it up to 2,200 in this tournament and get the low jack and cut off to call. So now we're going 3 ways, out of position, which isn't ideal, and the flop comes 10-7-7 rainbow. Think I can go either way with a check or bet, and essentially with second pair, I want to go for a bet and bet out 3,300. Low jack folds, but now onto this cutoff player who puts in a raise. Raises it up to 8,500, and not a great spot to be in with pocket 9s. And for one reason or another, I decided to get a little sticky here and make the call. Maybe we can bank a 9 on the turn, right? The turn comes the 3 of spades. Not amazing, but still a safe card overall if I was ahead somehow. I check it over to him, and he decides to go all in for 16,000. Yeah, I'm really hating this spot. It's really weird when we face all this aggression with only second pair. And ultimately, in-game, I decided on just a call, a little bit frustrated at this spot. And this player has ace 10, top, and the river comes a king. So just like that, my strip stack is down to 19,000, and I'm pretty frustrated at myself. It's one of these undisciplined mistakes here that I keep calling off and punting away my stack, just giving away chips for free. For one reason or another, decided to be a non-believer, and it costed us big time here. So stack has been crippled early on in this tournament. Next spot, picking up 10s in the big blind, which is nice. There's a cutoff open, then a button 3-bet to 6,500. With under 19,000 in stack, I have to go all in here. So I 4-bet jam, and both players fold. So now back up to starting stack, which is, I guess, fine, but definitely could have had a lot more chips in my stack. Whatever, pretty much restarting this whole tournament, but back at it. Back at it with King Queen of Hearts in the low jack. There's an only open to 2,500, and considering our chip stack is under 40 big blinds, I decided on just a call in position. That entices the big blind to call as well. So 3 ways the flop comes King Queen 9 rainbow. Top 2 pair, awesome. There is a straight on board, but can't be afraid of that. The ungun player puts in a continuation bet of 5,000. I have a pretty small stack at this point, and I've seen this player be super sticky with just random holdings he can have. So I go for a raise, attempting to just get it all in on the turn here, especially on this kind of board. I put in a raise to 13.5K. The big blind folds, and this ungun player decides to stick around, which is lovely. When he makes the call, I'm pretty much expecting to get the rest of my stack in pretty easily. And when the turn comes the ace of clubs, one of those cards I didn't want to see, as now any larger 2-pair combos beat me and are available, like ace king, ace queen, even ace 9. Anyways, he decides to lead for 6,500 now. I don't love this spot, but I know I just can't fold. Making the call only leaves myself with like 6,000 behind, so screw it. It's half of my chip stack, and I commit it. I'm all in for 12.5 thousand. It's only 6,000 more. And now this player thinks for a long time. And it's really confusing because my jam is super small compared to the size of the pot and even compared to how much he bet out on the street. It's a good sign at least, because now I expect to be good, and he ends up folding. He folds for 6,000 more. I'm so confused, unsure what in the world is going on right now, but everyone else is confused as well, so I'm not alone in this one. But the chips get pushed my way. The dealer says, here are your newfound chips. And just like that, the chip stack is up to 57,000. And I have definitely rebuilt from that punt with nines. In the following hand now, with ace queen offsuit on the button, the hijack player, same player from last hand, he opens it up to 2,000. Action folds to me. Obviously, he can be seen to play a wide number of hands. I 3-bet him to 6,000, and when action folds to him, he makes the call with about 12,000 in stack, so only got a pot-sized bet left. When the flop comes, ace jack 7 2 spades, he checks it over to me, and with top pair good kicker, you know I'm happy to commit stacks in at this point. I bet small to 2,500, and he decides to go all in. At that point, pretty easy snap call with ace queen. And I get shown some bad news. Wow, he has jack 7 of clubs for bottom 2 pair. That's right, he has jack 7, and the runout does not improve us. So we double this player up, and I don't feel great about it, but you know, kudos to you to playing jack 7. Nice hand. The very next deal, getting hit with the deck right now with playable hands, I pick up 10-9 of hearts in the cutoff. The same player that I just doubled up opens to 2,000. All right. Time to go to war against this same player again. I put in a 3-bet to 6,000, and he makes the call as expected. You know, if he's gonna play jack 7, he's gonna play anything else too. When the flop comes queen 7 4 2 hearts, picking up the heart flush draw, he leads for 7,000. Okay, well, this is gonna be interesting. I count out my stack, got about like 30,000 behind, so that's enough to gamble with. I make the call for 7,000 for now, expecting to get paid if we hit our hearts. And when the turn comes the queen of hearts, bink, and even better, he jams. I snap it off, and just like that, he has queen 8 offsuit. I'm all in against him, and it's a cooler, trips versus a flush. And the river does not pair the board, thank goodness. I find a full double up as he barely covered me. And it's been an up and down start to this tournament, but now up to 75,000 and hoping to just continue this upward trend from here. Things progress to level 9 where blinds are 600, 1,200, 1,200, and I pick up pocket 8s under the gun. I raise it up to 2,500 and get a +1 player on my left to make the call. Then action onto this button player who rips it all in for 24,000. Ooh, it's a 20 big blind shove, and for this amount, I think I'm going to have to call. I think this button player might be incentivized to jam maybe a little bit lighter with the +1 player calling my raise, and you know what? This hand is going to be pretty good. I make the call, and then bad news. +1 player on my left jams. Shit. This is not a good sign, and his jam is only around 35,000. It's about 9,000 more, so I cannot fold, but I certainly don't like taking pocket 8s 3 ways all in. So dealer, please give me an 8. That's all I need from you. The button shows pocket queens, not ideal, and +1 shows ace jack of spades, so I'm dead in the main pot, but flipping in the side pot. We're off to a flop, which comes 2 spades. Oh, this is a huge sweat. Turn ace just destroys all of the potential sweats. And now the stack is back to being crippled from 75,000. Now I have around 17,000 in stack. All right, once again, once our stack is crippled, the very next shuffle, I pick up king jack offsuit on the big blinds, and there's a +1 open at 2,500. Action folds to me, and this is an insta all in for just a little over 10 big blinds. I jam, she calls, she has pocket 8s, so how lovely would this be? Death by pocket 8s. The flop comes ace, king, queen, which is nice, and a pair of kings is going to hold and find a double up. So it's been an incredibly swingy few hands so far. And now I have just about 40,000 in stack, and oh my god, living this high variance tournament lifestyle. Safe to say, a little bit of a swingy level. Going to dinner break right now, we'll have like an hour to chill, but up and down was at my peak was close to 100K, and then I was down to like 15K like twice. Holy shit, I think I went all in like so many times. So hopefully you enjoyed the swingy action. Back to starting stack now, coming from dinner break. And we'll see. Table looks like it's a lot of fun. This tournament is so much fun. I don't really know how to explain the bounty thing to you, but all that matters is we're gonna have to make it to day 2. That's the only thing that matters about this tournament, is making it to day 2, and I'm probably gonna fire multiple bullets. Bounty thing doesn't really matter yet, but it's going to be really fun. Day 2, if you knock someone out, then you get a chance to win this like ridiculously big bounty, like $250,000 or something, which is just so silly. So that's that. So that all that matters right now is we're surviving to top 11%. Gonna seriously need to chip up. Can't really get anything going, which is a little frustrating, but that's just how the tournament life is. Gonna battle. I'll see you guys when the cards are back in the air. Moving on, we're in level 10 now. Blinds are 1,000, 1,500, 1,500, and I pick up Ace King offsuit and +1. I open it up to 3,500. The player on my left, once again, he likes making calls, so he calls my raise. Then onto the button player, action just doesn't stop at this table. He jams 15,000. He's a pretty short stack, so obviously we're in there for 15,000. And oh god, next to act, and the small blind thinks and ends up announcing all in as well. And he covers me. This is not a spot where I'm going to think about it. I have under 30 big blinds. I'm going all in no matter what with Ace King, and it'd be cool to win this 3-way all in. The player on my left folds. And let's see what we're up against. For the main pot, the button has King Jack offsuit. And for the side pot, the small blind has Ace Queen offsuit. Oh my god, we have both of these players dominated. Let's see a flop. Flop comes King High. That is as good as it gets. No sweat to find almost a full triple up. Get the full double up and then some as well. And now the stack is over 100,000. Oh, what a crazy turn of events early on in this tournament. Chip stack has gone from nothing to over 100K, and it's just gone up and down. And after that hand, I pick up some small pot as well. Now, chip stack is close to 140,000. And in this next hand, things don't slow down when I have 6-4 of hearts in the big blind. The low jack opens to 3,000. It folds to me. I have a good hand to see a flop with, given a good price. I make the call. The flop comes Queen 7-4 2 diamonds. So I've got bottom pair here in the spot, backdoor straight draws. I check it over to him, and he bets out 2,500. Obviously not going anywhere on this flop. Pairs are hard to make, so I make the call and see a turn, which is the 8 of hearts. This is a pretty good card for me, I believe. And I decide to lead as a bluff now to 8,000. Obviously, we can start repping some 2-pair combos, some straights potentially with a 6 in my hand. And for 8,000, he thinks and ends up making the call with about 27K behind. So it's about pot-sized bets, and I think I have a tell that he might be a little weak or a little bit suspicious. Maybe just has a weak queen at the very best, so hoping to just barrel off on the river, which comes the Ace of Hearts. Okay. I mean, if this player had the nut flush draw, you know, the ace of diamonds or something, then he's not going to fold top pair. But at the end of the day, I don't think I can be afraid of ace queen or some sort of ace X holding. And also, I think I can put a lot of the queen highs and the one pair of queens into a horrific spot. Maybe even get king queen to fold. But I go for it. I led out on the turn to rep a really strong hand, pretty much repping everything or nothing, and I essentially put them all in. It's 27,000 total. And now, this is a spot where he wants to put on his thinking cap. And after a minute or two of deliberation and silence, takes his cap off and mucks his cards. So, whew, nice to get this bluff through on the river here with just bottom pair. Certainly wasn't good, and it always feels really nice to get a bluff through, especially one that I really kind of thought about and tried to tell a legitimate story. I take the chips, and moving on to pocket kings in the hijack, the dealer doesn't stop dealing his heat. I raise it up to 3,500. The player on my left, once again, makes the call. Looks like he's been calling a lot every time I raise, and he has about 70,000 in stack and would love to play for it all. Anyways, we're going heads up, and the flop comes Jack 6-4, 2 diamonds. I start off with a small bet with my overpair to 2,500. It's a tiny, tiny sizing. And he follows through with a raise. How amazing is this? It's a raise to 6,500, and against typical player tendencies, I put him on some sort of top pair holding typically, maybe some sort of flush draw, and even then, I don't think they're going to fold to another small re-raise, and I go for it. I 3-bet to 20,000. Don't think when players raise here on the flop that they're going to fold, so I wanted the size a little bit bigger, and this player does not look comfortable. Very good sign that I am way ahead as he's just giving off a bunch of physical tells. So, with this 20,000 3-bets, he makes the call. And let's go. Let's just not see an ace. One brick card, please, on the turn, dealer, and we'll get it all in. The turn is the ace of diamonds. Wow. I couldn't actually think of a worse cards to come, besides maybe a jack. With the stack to pot ratio at 1-to-1, I'm annoyed. I decided to just check. I may decide to bet here with the king of diamonds, but I obviously don't have it. And it's a good sign to see that he checks back, so I'm praying he doesn't have a diamond and only has a jack. The river is now the brick card I wanted to see on the turn. It's a deuce, so I'm at least really happy it wasn't a diamond, and I think I have to go for value. How can I get hands like queen jack or jack 10 to call? I bet small here. It's 18.5 thousand, and he thinks, but ultimately ends up just folding his cards. Pretty poor runouts for us, unfortunately. But still, I can't complain as I'm glad to just chip up, and all of a sudden, chip stack is up to 186,000. Part of the theme of tournament is that the blinds keep going up. So in level 11, blinds are 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, and I pick up 6-9 of clubs on the button. Action folds to me and have a suited hand that's pretty playable, so I put in a raise to 4,000. The small blind, player to my left, who seems to be some sort of pro or someone who's competent, he 3-bets to 15,000. When the big blind folds to me, we're playing super deep stacked against a solid player who also has a deep stack. This is definitely a playable one, although it seems a little unconventional. But considering the wider ranges that he could be 3-betting with, I make the call and see a flop. Flop comes 10-8-4, 2 diamonds. He decides to bet out 11.5 thousand, and this is certainly just not a flop I'm folding to. I'm raising a lot of hands that connect with this board, and this one with a gutter and the ability to start bluffing on some streets and runouts. I decide to call, and we're off to see a turn, which is the 9 of diamonds. It's pretty good for me, I think. I improved to a pair. It's a board that's a lot more connected, and he decides to take forever. He just took like a minute or two and ends up checking. Okay, well, is a decision point to either take my showdown and think I'm good, or continue and start bluffing at this like I planned on it, and I decided to start bluffing here with a pair. On a board where I can have a lot of straights, 2 pairs, and random stuff, I bet out 32,000 now. And now, oh my god, he tanks for 5 freaking minutes. Gets the clock called on him. Look, when you're tanking, especially in a tournament and taking a long time for decisions, it's probably not great because blinds go up fairly quickly, especially in this tournament, and to take up over 5 minutes on just one street and one decision, that's a little disrespectful to the rest of the table. And finally, someone speaks up and calls clock, as I feel uncomfortable to do so as being part of the hand. So just a little warning, do not take absurdly long amount of time to act. It's just not good for the game and ruins the experience for everyone else. So with the clock called, he has 10 seconds left to act, then announces all in. Shit. Well, I snap fold here. I'm not going to waste anyone's time just to make things really quick. I bet this as a bluff, and getting jammed into is pretty unfortunate. Kind of hate this dude as I gave him chips, and even worse, my chips get pushed his direction after taking so long for every single decision point. Now, this chip stack is down to about 90,000, which is around average, and gonna need some help. Gonna need to crawl out and try to build a chip stack. Wow, what a ridiculously swingy ride the past 2 hours has been. We're on break. I have 90K in chips now. I really like how I played my 6-9 hand. That's all I care about. I think I like it. I have to look at it. I asked a buddy about it, and I'm looking forward to hearing back. But I really like how I played that hand. Unfortunately, that it didn't work out. I guess he had some sort of overpair, or I don't know, but he thought about it for a while. But now we have just under average, so 90,000 going into 30 big blinds after this break. And because making day two with a big chip stack is like pretty important, might be a little overly aggressive. We'll see. There's like 135 people left. 51-ish make the money or make day two. So 80 people need a bust, still in it, but the goal is to get a big chip stack and accumulate. So I'm happy to play my 30 big blinds super aggressively when the opportunity arises. That's all I gotta say. Let's get back into the action. After the break, level 13 blinds are 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, and first hand back, I pick up king queen offsuit in the low jack and raise to 6,000. Two players over and the cutoff rips it all in for 37K. Action folds to me and with a 12 big blind jam. It's an easy call, and I get shown ace king offsuit. God damn it. Keep running into some big hands, and it's getting really annoying and frustrating. Sadly, the flop comes king high and couldn't find the suck out here as we were a huge underdog to win this hand. And just like that, the stack is now down to about 20 big blinds. Really annoyed at this point. Can't be annoyed for too long though, because in the next level, I pick up queens in the cutoff with 58,000 in stack. Oh God, this is the prayer we needed. There's a low jack open to 9,000. And onto me, I have such a small stack here. I decided to just make the call, hoping to incentivize a bigger pot to brew. And oh yeah, that happens. The player on my left, the button, who thinks for just forever for every single decision, he finally decides on a 3-bet, and it's a large one to 40,000. Small blind folds, and then the big blind has a decision to make too, and he ends up jamming. He has over 200,000 in his stack and goes all in. So excited, fist pumping right now, and there's a chance for a complete full triple up. The low jack folds, I'm snap calling. All right, no need to like disguise the strength of my hand. It would be such a huge win to get the button player to fold, then go heads up with a chance to triple up. Like that would be amazing. But then onto this button player who is obviously notorious for taking forever, who also has about 20,000 in his stack as well. So it's a pretty big decision. He tanks, then ends up making the call for a massive, massive stack. The button has jacks, the big blind has nines. Let's go. Come on, dealer. Let's fade a jack or 9 one time, and we can triple up in a massive way. We flop a full house. Bink City for us right now. Queens hold, get a full triple up, and went from very little life to so much life. There's so much hope in this tournament, and it's huge to potentially have a massive chip stack to get into day two. Now with 94 players left, 55 make it to day two, and I pick up ace jack of clubs in the low jack. I raise it up to 8,000. The player on my left makes the call with the big stack. We're battling out against this guy, and we're going heads up to a flop of 3, 4, 7, 2 hearts, and a diamond. I check it over to him on a flop that doesn't hit me too much, and he checks it back. And when the turn comes, the jack of diamonds. This is amazing. I decided to bet large to 18,000 now with top. I expect to have the best hand a high percentage of the time, especially when he just makes the call here. We're off to see a river. Let's see a brick. The river comes the 10 of diamonds. It's not ideal, but I'm certainly not afraid. And I'm just going to commit my hand and stack to this pot, I think. The only issue is I don't know how many hands I can get value from that are worse than mine. Pretty much just like queen jack, king jack, and like jack 9. So I check it over to him, and maybe I can induce a bluff. He thinks about it for a long time and ends up betting huge. 55,000 in the middle and 55,000 for me to make the call. Well, like I said, I felt like I was good, but this river kind of changes a lot as I don't think there's a ton of bluffs here. Besides some people who may overvalue some top pair holding or just bluffing with hands that float on the turn. Backdoor flush draw gets there, which shouldn't be too significant, but obviously my hand just seems a little too strong to just fold, as I think I win a high percentage of the time. So I make the call. I mean, I don't feel great about it, but feel a little worse when this player shows pocket tens. Got rivered. 2 outed on the river, And now back to hating poker, riding the high of the triple up of the pocket queens, then running into this 2-outer on the river for a big pot. Chip stack is back down to 100,000. So been through a lot of joy and pain today in this tournament, and this next hand with pocket 8s. We're under the gun, and I open it up to 8,000. We get the cutoff and big blind player to make the call, so 3 ways going to a flop of ace queen 9 rainbow. Big blind checks to me, and this board is horrible for my specific hand, obviously, but pretty good for the overall amount of hands that I typically would raise from this position. So I feel like my hand is just so bad that I could potentially just start bluffing on here now and potentially just start a credible line of having a big hand. I bet out 9,000, a little bit of a feeler bet, see what's going on here, and only the cutoff player makes the call. So pretty much hoping to shut down until we see the turn. It's a king. Well, just not going to stop bluffing now. You know, I could definitely play a lot of ace king, ace queen, king queen, pocket kings, just, I don't know, just all of the ridiculous hands that I have. Even jack 10 as well I can have. So I continue with a bet of 22,000. Gonna size up, and I have the intention to get it all in on the river now. And this player thinks and ends up making the call. So, all right, not sure if I care what the river comes. I'm committed, hoping to get a fold from a weak ace. In the river comes a board pairing king. Not the best one, as any ace chops now, but I still think we can still put a lot of pressure on some aces that are pretty much just calling for a chop. So, I don't know. I'm continuing with this line. I'm continuing with the story. I jam for 69,000 total. I'm praying that maybe this player could potentially fold, as pretty much any ace is going to be chopping. She isn't happy, but she thinks, calls, full tilt, pocket 8s can't be good. I just throw my hands into the middle. This player has ace jack. Sick call, nice hand. I'm out.
I'm just storming out. Like, this is fucking absurd. Bluff didn't work. Welcome to max full tilt me. Like, holy fuck, dude. God damn it. Like, the king was not good. But, like, still, you're calling for a chop, and, like, holy shit. It's, like, grinded for so long, and, like, just things aren't working out right now. Like, it would, like, I want to, like, on Instagram, you follow me on Instagram, like, I upload all my tournaments, and there's, like, a lot more shit that happens behind the scenes. Like, I'm playing a lot of tournaments, freaking out. Like, this is max full tilt. Like, this is, like, 15 seconds after, so I'm, like, really upset. So I'm just gonna show the raw goddamn emotion, and I'm, like, so upset. Like, god damn it. Like, have a bluff go through, like, fold. The king sucks. Like, I think that she finds a fold if the king doesn't come, I guess. I don't know. She's calling for a chop, and, like, it's fine. I don't know. Like, I've bricked out a lot of tournaments. I'm really frustrated. And today is so up and down and, like, so emotionally swingy. Like, I just like stormed the hell out. So if you guys like this raw emotion, then here it is. Like, I try not to be super negative, but, like, things have gone really bad. In terms of just, like, playing, and, like, I feel like I'm playing okay. Like, I like how I'm playing. I really do. Maybe bluffing into 3 players is, like, a disaster, but when I see that turn, like, I'm not gonna stop. I don't know. It's just, like, a lot of shit. Maybe just, like, grinding in Vegas for a month now has been, like, it's just, like, fucking taking a toll on me. I don't know, but Happy New Year's, everyone. That's happening soon when this video pops out. That's all I have to say. Like, I'm grateful for your support, grateful for how the videos are doing. I'm grateful to have an audience, that people who watch these vlogs. I'm not trying to portray this super negative image or super negative vibes, but, like, this is how poker is sometimes. Like, this is one of those days, because this is the second tournament I've busted today, actually. This is just one of those times where, like, you know, poker, you just want to, like, scream in your car at the top of your lungs and just, you know, sometimes it tests you. And that's where I'm at right now. This is one of those nights where I just want to scream at the top of my lungs and scream out in frustration. But thanks for watching. This is also a monster of a vlog, and made it to, like, I just stormed, I don't even know. There was, like, maybe 100 people left. 55 would have made it to day 2. Maybe I'll try again next time, next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.